VR cameras, transforming tablets, and chainsaw-wielding drones, that's what I like. It's been a very interesting week, guys, so let's go ahead and get started. The Samsung Gear 360 is one of the VR cameras I've been most excited about, one of the 360 cameras. I don't want to say VR because it's not exactly, but we didn't know the pricing on it until this week. According to a post over on Techno Buffalo, it's going to be available for $350 when compared to the one that's coming from LG, which may not be quite the same, but it's going to be available for $200 or bundled with whatever it is you buy. B&H has also announced that they're going to have the LG G5 bundled with the 360 LG camera and the VR headset for $750 unlocked off contract, which I may or may not have pre-ordered. It'll be here sometime in May. But still, I've seen some of the footage out of the Samsung 360 cam. Casey Neistat did a full video about it, which of course I'm sure you've seen his channel. And the footage out of it looks absolutely awesome, but for $350, I'm still not really sure. Probably a better price than most other 360 cams on the market though. But speaking of that, up until this point, a lot of people wanting to do 360 video to get the absolute best, highest quality have been using a bunch of GoPros. So GoPro decided to capitalize on that by putting out their very own 360 mount. They're calling it the Omni, and it's basically this big polycarbonate frame that you put a bunch of GoPros in, 6 if I can see correctly. From what I can see, that's like $3,000 worth of cameras mixed with a rig, and the rig itself, if I had to guess based upon GoPro standards, is going to be a few $100s. So if you wanted to buy the entire bundle, it's probably going to be $3,500, just a guess. Maybe they'll bundle it up, make it cheaper, maybe it'll be $3,000, maybe it'll be $2,500, but if I had to guess, they're going to say, you buy your own cameras, here's just the shell, to each their own. Personally, I would much rather go with a little teeny tiny Samsung or LG camera just because small. Now in terms of companies actually using the VR, IKEA came out this week with a VR game for the HTC Vive. Not exactly a game, but it's just more of a, you get into the Vive and you can remodel a kitchen using IKEA stuff in VR. I think I actually saw OMG It's Firefox playing that on Twitch because you can simulate yourself being at either an adult height or a child height, and you can manipulate the different things in the environment. It's really just a different way to shop, and in my opinion, it could technically be the way that we shop moving forward once the VR headsets are not so big and cumbersome. Very cool. BMW is apparently also using the HTC Vive to work on designing new cars. Not just cars, vehicles. There's an article about it over on Engadget. I guess that's something to be expected as well. Most of the car companies, when new technology comes out that makes it easier to visualize things, they will definitely jump right on it. So something like this that's hugely immersive, that allows you to very quickly create and change things, I can see any company want to jump on top of that. And I think the next thing we'll probably see out of it is test drives using the VR headset. Oh, you want to see and immerse yourself in the exact experience of a Tesla Model S? Here's the Tesla app. Not to say that that's here, but that is something I could foresee happening. Now, as I mentioned in the intro, transforming tablets. Xiaomi has made a toy. It's not a tablet, it's a toy that looks like one of their tablets. It says it looks like the Mi Pad 2, and it transforms. It pulls apart in like 30 different steps to turn into a big robot. Not big, but you know, tablet-sized. It's a cool toy, and I think I remember seeing that it was like 169 yuan, which equates to not much money at all. So if you're in the China area, or someplace where you can get one of those, and you have a kid that loves tablets as well as Transformers, that sounds pretty cool. I can tell you right now, my 7-year-old would probably love that, but he would also probably say, Dad, why doesn't this play games? Now, because I was just talking about kids there, that actually rolls in very nicely. Unintentional. It's come out this week that Twitter is actually offering new employees, I guess all employees, gender neutral, so anybody, 20 weeks off of parental leave. And that starts on May 1st. So if you're a Twitter employee, or if you're planning to be, and you or your significant other is pregnant, when the baby comes, you get 20 weeks off. Now, I know a lot of you guys watching are not from the US, and in a lot of other countries, parental leave is a very common thing. But here in the US, most companies do not offer it. I'm very lucky in that the company that I work for has what they call ROW, meaning that I can technically take off as much time as I need, within reason, as long as I'm still getting my job done. My wife, on the other hand, works for a company that does not offer that, so she had to wipe out every single bit of vacation, sick, any other leave that she had accumulated in order to stay home with a baby for just 6 weeks, which thoroughly sucks. That's not to say she's gonna go start working for Twitter, but if she wanted to, but that's really impressive. Kudos to Twitter. Moving right along though, PlayStation 4 had a new firmware update this week, bringing it to version 3.5, and the big thing that brings along with it is remote play for both PC and Mac. It says it's compatible with Windows 8.1, Windows 10, OS 10.10 and 10.11 on Mac. It'll do 360, 540, 720p with a default of 540p at 30 and 60 frames a second, defaulting to 30. So it's going to default to kind of a low resolution, but you can take it up to sort of high definition. the lowest end of high def. I will admit, I have not turned my PS4 on in quite a while, but I'm gonna have to update it and see how that works. Huawei rolled out a couple of new devices, the P9 and P9 Plus, which I would actually love to get my hands on. I may have to reach out to Huawei about that. Looks like both of them come with Leica dual camera setups. I saw Lou from Unbox Therapy did a video about one of them. Absolutely amazing unboxing. You need to go check that out if you haven't already. But it's a really neat, innovative design, and it appears to just work really well. But it does look like it's gonna be about $680 for the P9 and $850 for the P9 Plus. It does have sort of flagship specs, although I think it has the Kirin processor in it. But still, if I'm going to be paying $700 to $900 for a device, as I've already shown, I'm going to buy the Galaxy S7 or the LG G5 or an iPhone. But still, it'll be interesting to see some of the results from the camera. Now, I forgot to mention last week, I didn't exactly forget, it didn't really feel like it fit. At Microsoft's Build conference last week, they announced that they're integrating Ubuntu's Bash into Windows 10. I mentioned this because it is something that I like. It's something that I'm really interested in because there are so many people that using Windows 10, like I have in the background, have to use something like Cygwin in order to get all of their terminal commands that they're used to from a Linux system on Windows. Well, starting with Windows 10, the anniversary update that's coming in this summer, they're actually going to be integrating it, but you can get your hands on it right now if you update to the developer build. I don't know all the specifics on it, but basically you have to go enable some settings, some advanced settings in your system, and you have to be worried that things could just absolutely explode at any time. But if you have a system that you don't mind rebuilding on the occasion, it might not hurt to check it out. Moving on to Amazon news, because there were a few stories about that. Biggest one, in my opinion, Amazon is expanding their Prime same-day delivery service into 11 more cities. I think they said it's up to 27 total cities now. Anyway, the new cities include one that's local to me, which is awesome. Charlotte, Cincinnati, Fresno, Louisville, not Louisville, I'm from Kentucky, Milwaukee, Nashville, Raleigh, Richmond, Sacramento, Stockton, and Tucson, as well as some new places in New Jersey, Dallas, Fort Worth, LA, and San Diego. Louisville is the city that I work in, so now if I need same-day deliveries and I go into the office, I should be able to actually do that, which is awesome. Hopefully it gets expanded to the surrounding areas as well. That would be lovely. But anyway, if you're in one of those areas and you need that Amazon same-day delivery service, be on the lookout because it should be available now. Amazon also opened up the Alexa smart home software. It's now accessible to a lot more people, a whole lot easier for people to interact with these Alexa devices, Echo devices, whatever you want to call them. I've started integrating this more into my daily life, and it's so convenient. And now that it's going to be able to be used by so many more things, I'm a big fan. And it's actually, speaking of which, Lutron, which I'm not familiar with, but apparently they make smart home connected products. Specifically, it looks like a lot of lighting switch type things. They have opened up support to Alexa, so starting now, I suppose, if you have Lutron devices, you should be able to connect them into your Amazon Echo app and start controlling them using that. Now, a couple of drone stories that I found very interesting, and they involved weaponry, sort of. First one, there's a couple of guys from Finland that attached a chainsaw to a drone, specifically to a DJI octocopter. Massive thing, but they attached this chainsaw to it, and they attacked tree limbs and snowmen, and had a camera mounted beside it so you could see all of the carnage up close and personal. Terrifying and amazing. But then there was another video linked to by Gizmodo, where they showed a drone with amazing obstacle avoidance such that they're able to fence with it. Not that it's holding a sword, because that would be even more terrifying, but there's a man in full fencing regalia that's jabbing at it and very thrust, you know, and the drone is backing away appropriately. It does get a little bit close in a couple of places, but the future of obstacle avoidance is bright. Oak Ridge National Laboratory has managed to create a wireless electric vehicle charging system, 20 kilowatt charging system with 90% efficiency. That is ridiculous. And as long as it's relatively inexpensive and easy to connect to your home power grid, I want a car with that. I don't mind plugging a car in, but if I can just drive onto it and have it automatically start charging, I'm good with that. They are also planning on developing a 50 kilowatt one next, which would be really cool. I think that's actually getting up almost on par with the Tesla Supercharger, maybe. That one might be 60, I can't remember quite right. And of course, none of the cars actually come with the support for wireless charging yet, so you'd have to do a retrofit, aftermarket retrofit to it. But still, if I picked up an electric vehicle and I could get that for a reasonable price, the whole kit, yeah, I'd be into that. And you know what, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap things up there because I've been going on for entirely too long. As always, thank you guys so much for watching and supporting the series. Remember to leave a like down below if you like this, and subscribe to receive more when they become available, and we will see you again next time.